What's going on, everybody, man? It's your boy Peanut,
And I'm Butter, and
and welcome
welcome
to
to
the
the Peanut
Peanut Butter
Butter
Show.
Show.
Or
Um,
should we say, welcome back? I know for all the people that's asking, oh, you missed the Monday. Man, look, life has been lifing.
and we're
Some things
unapologetic about
had
it.
going on, so
We're normal people with normal lives,
yeah,
and
I
we just
needed a
decide
break.
to share with
Yeah,
y'all.
I needed a break. So we had some stuff going on, but we back. We back at it like never before. Bam, shabang, bluey. Let's get this thing going. Before we get started, before the topic, Mug Monday, little something average today.
This is
Mr.
not
and Mrs.
average. These are
It
hella
ain't.
cool.
They are hella
How
cool.
many people
Shout out
got
to
these?
what? Mr. and Mrs. Smith. That movie was fire,
That
man.
was a good movie.
But
Um, okay, my favorite part about these mugs, we got these mugs thrifting, y'all.
thrifting.
My favorite part about these mugs is that like right here on the inside, there's actually a Bible verse, and it says, "I found the one my heart loves," which is Song of Solomon 3 and 4. Hmm. Yeah, I don't have no glasses
Yeah,
on. It's
three,
a little
four.
small.
Yeah, that. Don't
And then
worry.
there's a heart, like it looks like a heart drawn into the bottom of each cup.
It's fresh.
But these are really nice mugs.
Fresh
Yeah,
mugs.
another thrifting cop.
Can't go
Um,
wrong with thrifting.
so let's get into it.
Get
I
into
feel like
what? What's the topic?
that's what I'm about to go over.
Okay, okay.
Uh,
Excuse
I
me.
feel like this is a conversation that we keep having with like our friends and people that we've been around, and so we just wanted to have it with you guys too. Um, and so this week we will be talking about chasing your dreams, right? Um, and why that's important.
Not even just chasing your dreams, but pursuing the goals that you've envisioned for a while, but you're kind of like, I don't really think it can. Screw that. Go
Yeah.
get it.
So, and today I really want to talk about like tackling the pivot because that's a conversation that keeps coming up. It's like, oh, I've been doing this thing for so long, or by the time I do this thing for this many years, or invest this much time or this much money, like why would I switch it even if I don't like it because I'm invested? And so we're gonna talk about that too. We're gonna talk about that too. So it was really important for us today to sort of rep what we're talking about. So today I have on the first doula merch that I ever bought for myself. And so for those of you that know, my most current um profession has been in birth work. And so when I started out as a doula, when I got my first client, this was my first gift to myself, and I was really excited. Um, and it was a big switch from what I was doing before. But I jumped off the deep end, and I've been in it ever since. So what are you repping?
What I'm repping, I ain't get down. So these shorts made by me. I just went to Joann's, little fabric shop, whatever. I was like, I want to wear some shorts. Bought some shorts. Marble is my thing. DC better, but whoever hating in the comments, screw you. DC better, but I bought me some Marvel. I love me some Marvel too, so
You bought the
made me some.
fabric, right?
Well, yeah, I bought the fabric, made me some Marvel shorts, and I be rocking them every now and then. Need to make some more shorts, put some pockets in them, but it's what I'm rocking. That's how I get down. You know me. You know what's up, man. You know the vibes.
Okay. And so let's talk about it. Um, I guess my first question is going to be how many different passions do you think you've pursued compared to the number of jobs you've actually had? Does that make sense?
I need you to elaborate a little bit more.
Okay, so like I've pursued my passion in writing and podcasting and birth work and photography. I've pursued those things, but I've had jobs that have had nothing to do with that, right? Like I've had jobs in customer service, I've had jobs in serving, I've had jobs in just
I
random
mean,
stuff.
I really only had like, mm, I really like two passions for real, and I have like always just been with me, and that's fashion and art.
Okay.
And I love to draw. That's like my thing. If you know me from way back when, like, oh, say, yeah, you can draw, you gonna do it. But you also know he gonna put that, he gonna put it on.
Mm-hmm.
He gonna put that thing on. And then also, not only even like I'm gonna dress nice, but I'm gonna help someone else dress nice too. I love like to style other people who are like struggling with their styles and stuff. So that's always been me. I'm gonna style something, style myself, style art, do art onto the stuff that I create. I'm
Okay.
finding any way that I can do that. So
But in comparison to the
jobs
jobs
I've
you've
had,
actually had, how
nothing
do you
close.
okay, and
I
how do
work
you continue
construction.
to pursue art and fashion? Tell us, what have you worked?
Oh man, I worked a horrible job when I first got out of high school. It wasn't horrible. I mean, it was
It
great
paid well.
money. It paid well, but like, if money is your only goal, like if you sacrificing your happiness for money, you wrong. I ain't
You'll
even
just
gonna,
never have
yeah,
enough.
and I ain't even gonna like try to sugarcoat it or nothing. If you sacrificing your happiness for money, you wrong. Period. That's what I believe, and actually like pursuing that and following that is like I'm a lot happier and my life's a lot better and easier. Easier, hand in hand. It's a lot better though. I will say that for damn certain.
When you're not chasing money.
Yeah, when you're not just chasing, you're actually doing like what you love and you like truly genuinely happy.
Hmm.
It's a lot better. But I've done that. I work for Amazon. All those dogs I got chased by, all the people that were angry, it ain't worth it. Be getting beat down. Some heavy packages, man. Man, at one time I had to take that recreational pool table up to that apartment, fucking freaking fourth floor. You know you was wrong for ordering that. About broke my back. Almost died that day. It was bad. Amazon, FedEx, UPS, all of them. Horrible. Not fun. Waffle House, other than the free food, bad. Terrible. Not good. Uh One of the first jobs I ever had, I was like a janitor at a church. Those church people are wrong. They will throw trash on the ground. They will throw anything on the ground. It was bad. And then the kids were arguably the worst part about that. And I love kids, love them to death. But sometimes you'll go in those bathrooms, and those kids will wipe poop on the walls, man. All right, so I've had a list of horrible jobs that have had nothing to do with my profession,
Your passion.
passion,
Hmm.
my passion. So it sucks, but like doing art and fashion on the side, if it wasn't for some of those jobs paying me as well as they did or decent enough, I wouldn't have been able to afford working on my passion on the side. So you always got to keep your passion in mind, even if you're using like a crappy job as a stepping stone. Use that
As a stepping stone.
as a stepping stone. Step on that job,
But step
and
off of it once that time comes. That's important, huh?
yeah, you got to know when it's time to roll out. 'Cause people are like, oh, I just been here for so long and this and that. See, look, that construction job I was working at, I worked there for 3 years. I think I was up for promotion when I decided I'm gonna quit. And I just came in. I told my coworker I was working with, I was like, hey, I'm finna quit. He's like, for what? Like we getting paid good, we working good hours. I'm like, yeah, but I ain't happy anymore. Like I'm coming to work miserable, and I'm bringing that crap home. Like nah, I need something else. What you gonna do? How you gonna find something better? I don't know. But have you a plan? So I had a plan to find something else, to get into something else before I just up and left. I didn't put myself at a deficit. I didn't, there's nothing wrong with two steps forward or one step back, two steps forward. There's nothing wrong with that. But at that point in time, it would have been a couple steps back and I might have been backtracking. So always have you a plan, always have you something there. I'm not saying just go, oh, yeah, go quit your job. Like, that's not what I'm saying. But you want to pursue your passions. Don't ever let anything get in the way of your passions and your dreams. So use those crappy jobs to their advantage. Use those jobs. They using you. So use them. Use them right back.
I definitely feel that.
So
I feel that. I think that just really like brings us to the point of like the pivot. So for those of y'all that don't know or aren't familiar with the term um of a pivot, what is a pivot when we talk about pivots in life? It is essentially the um, term that is used to speak on exactly what it sounds like, a shift, major shifts in your life. Um, and so let's say, and I can speak from it, I'll speak from it from a personal point, because I've taken very many drastic pivots, but it's really just embodying that the person that I was yesterday and or the person that I was last month or last year simply does not interest me anymore, or it doesn't make me happy. It doesn't, it's not beneficial to me anymore. And it is time for me to take a turn and do something else. So for example, when I graduated high school, I went to college. I had a plan. Remember, I was gonna be a doctor. I was gonna be an OB. Had this whole thing. I was gonna open my own practice, all the things. And I was very headstrong about it when I graduated high school. And then I got to college and I started experiencing it and experiencing life. And I realized that this headstrong, academia only based person that I had been for such a long time was no longer serving me. Right? I was miserable. I was not keeping up in my classes, trying to explain to my family, like, hey, I'm struggling and there's nobody to help me. It wasn't benefiting me anymore. And so I wasn't interested. And dropping out of school and pursuing, I call it my life period, but life never stopped, right? But just pursuing whatever came to me more naturally. Um, that was the period that I went through, and it was, I guess, more of a like young, wild, and free, is what my nana used to call it. Um, and she really told me to embody it and embrace it, and so I'm really grateful that I had people like that in my life that allowed me to grow um freely, right? There were no reins or cages on the way that I grew as I did, because it was, you have a life and you have to experience it to know what you want. um but all that to say, that was, I want to say, my first big pivot was stepping out of academia and deciding not to pursue my college degree. And then I went young, wild, and free for a couple years. And that really brought me a lot of experience in life. It brought me my moving out of my parents' house, so independence. It brought me a better understanding of professions in terms of money management, in terms of benefits, in terms of compensation packages as a whole. And it served me for as long as it did. But once it didn't anymore, and we've talked about this before, in 2020 when I quit my job, it was this job. And so when I was working that job, is when COVID happened, and that's when we got back together and all the things. But once it became, I'm bringing misery home with me every day, we sat down, we made a plan, and I had been using that job to support my side hustle at the time, which was writing, management, and podcasting. And when I left that job, it was a very big turn on the outside looking in, right? It's a very different thing. It was new, it was exciting, but I loved it and I was in love with it. And I really think the importance of knowing that you can be a different person than you were yesterday is so like liberating, because if I didn't have, I will say, I definitely am so blessed and so grateful to have the support that I have in my life, because I don't know that it would have been as easy for me to pivot every time that I did if I didn't have supportive people like my nana and like my husband to say, like, hey, you're free to break away from this thing and do something else. Um, but I pivoted from a more corporate scene into entrepreneurship, and I was writing, management, and podcasting, and it was a ride. And I did it until I didn't want to do it anymore. Still love it to this day. I don't want to do it full time.
Man, doing it full time is like,
Is a
it's a
thing.
lot harder than people like really like make it seem or give it credit. Like,
But I think you should try. I do think that if you really
Absolutely.
have a thing and you have a strong plan, I do think that I absolutely believe that God will bless you with a moment for you to try it. It may be a moment that He's telling you, you're really good at this thing, but this is not the thing that I have to sustain you, right? Because when I was doing my writing and podcasting and management, C. Teigen, when I was running C. Teigen, the money was coming, you know. It wasn't as much as I was making at the job I had left, but I loved everything that I was doing. I learned some very, very, very valuable lessons, and I'm so glad that I learned them at, how old was I then? 20, as opposed to when a lot of people would be learning them in 30s and 40s, because then they're retiring from those jobs that they've been at for 15 and 20 years, right? Um, and so I'm very grateful for those experiences. But that to say, it's not, your passion is not always going to be your financial source of sustainability. And a lot of times we have to experience that, hey, I love this thing, but to avoid growing a hatred for it, I can't do this full time, right?
Yeah, that's
Um,
exactly why I had to quit art. Like, well, not quit art because I still love art and that's like still one of my main focuses. But like when I was doing art full time, bruh, when that jump slowed down, it was bad. Like
and
I'm,
not just that it slowed down, right? But having to, one, you have to be able to encourage yourself to keep going.
yeah. Sometimes it
Um,
get overwhelming. You be sitting in the crib, you get in your own head, and now you could make a masterpiece and think it's crap, throw it away, or just not feel it. And a whole lot comes into really 100% pursuing your passions.
yeah. And some passions are just meant to keep us, I believe that some passions that we have are meant to keep us level.
And grounded, really.
Right, keep us grounded. It should be your escape.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't know the difference between, is this supposed to be my escape or is this supposed to sustain me, right? Because another great example personally, right, is when I went into birth work full time. And I had a full time job when I started birth work. And I was allowed the opportunity to leave that full time job and take up birth work full time. And I loved it. But when I started it, it was not a thing that I believed could sustain me. It was a thing that I thought was supposed to be a side hustle for me. And it wasn't until I left my full time job and really took a leap of faith and landed in God's hands, really, and believed in myself. Not just because everybody else believed in me. Like they saw the work that I was doing, but believed in myself and trusted that, like,
That's what's important with your passion.
yeah, it's
If you ain't
like,
believing in yourself, like you just kind of doing it for no reason. Like
but
everybody else and their mama could believe in me, but if I'm not believing in myself, everything I do is bad and everything is
exactly.
ugly and everything sucks. So when it comes to pursuing your passion, you gotta believe in you. You gotta pour into yourself and like
Yeah.
truly like sit back like, okay, I can do this. I know I got the talent. I just got to put my mentality towards the talent and really get on those actions and really start working towards that. So
Yeah. But
it's a
I think,
lot.
sorry, I don't
Go
mean to
ahead.
cut you off.
Oh, go
I
ahead.
think when we talk about like pursuing your dreams and remembering to never stop chasing your dreams, is that as you experience life, like your dreams change. They should change. Because if you always have the same dream, then that means you never made it there, right? Um, mm, there was something I was watching, and it may have been a sermon or something from church or something, but I remember hearing it said that, your dreams are the way that God speaks to you. But not just that, they are literal visions, projections of what's to come, right? These are the things that keep you going, because if you haven't seen this thing in your life yet, then you're not there. And so you still have more work to do, but it's coming. But if you've been having the same dream for 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, 30 years, it's because you're not working to see that come to pass. Every time I've ever had a dream, like a real dream, a real drive, a real passion about something, once I see it come to pass, I immediately have a new dream, right? Maybe not necessarily a new passion, right? Because once I saw my dream of birth working full time come to pass, um, I had a new dream. I started having a new dream. And that didn't take me out of the realm of birth work. It expanded what I was already doing. Even in my time right now that I'm spending at home as a homemaker and a mom, it hasn't pulled me away from birth work in any sense, right? It has given me a different perspective of it. It has given me another experience in it because now I've had my own birth, because now I'm able to add my own personal experience, because in this time I've picked up photography, and now when I start taking births again, I'll be able to add that to my birth packages. I picked up mentorship, and that's a thing that's coming, right? And so every time you reach the fruition of your dreams, you always have another one.
True.
You
So what
always
would you
have
say
another
is like the
dream.
key goal to like really like chasing your dreams and like pursuing that passion that you know deep down in your heart, or that talent, that real goal that you have? What would you say is like, give a top three, like top three things that you really should focus on doing?
One is faith, right? Like the number one thing that gets me from pivot to pivot to pivot is faith, because every plant has a dry season. You know what I'm saying? Everything that grows has a season where it dies, but it comes back
Yeah. You hear dying, you hear
lusciously.
dies, you hear death. People automatically think the end, but sometimes it could just be the beginning.
Right?
Truly and honestly.
Like death, and I found this new word for it recently, but being unalived, death and being unalived, I really reveres two different things, because the death, with every death brings life, right? At some point, everything should die. And from that death blooms life. Um, and then being unalived and transitioning on, it is still a life, just not in this space. Um,
We got faith. You said faith and what else?
but faith is number one. And
Number
not
two.
just spiritual faith, but faith in yourself.
Yeah, faith in yourself
Um,
is important.
faith in yourself and your abilities. Number two is practice.
Practice makes perfect, man.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, there's no
I also
true
no. I
such
also
thing as
heard this, and
perfection.
I want to say I heard it on like Instagram, on an Instagram reel or something.
Heard
But
these TikToks and these
don't
reels and
start, because
junk chokehold.
I don't even have a TikTok that I use.
Chokehold.
However, it was practice doesn't make perfect, right? Because there's no such thing as perfect, but practice makes progress.
You can get behind that. You can get behind that.
Practice makes progress. If I keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it, I'm gonna get somewhere. That's the only option. Like I'm gonna get somewhere. So practice. Even if you're a master at your sport, even if you're the best at what you do, Simone Biles is the best at what she does. She still go out and do something new all the time.
That's
Break
true.
it down for us.
You don't see like LeBron James. He don't just be not practicing
Yeah, he
on
don't
any
just show up to the
game.
game and
Yeah,
win. Like
that's
that's
not
not
how
what
that works.
happens.
Practice makes
So
perfect. So yeah, definitely working on that. So okay,
faith,
practice.
practice,
And the third one to wrap it
um,
up.
and then number three, I will say is probably your circle.
Yeah, you can get behind that too. You can get
It's
behind
your
that.
circle. It's
Damn, I
so
thought we was gonna
important.
have three different things, but it might be the same thing. It might just be piggybacking this time.
It's so important to know who is around you, to hold them to expectations that are realistic for what they can do for you, right? Like I can't expect my husband to give birth to our next child. I can. I'll be
Yeah, I about to
verily
say
disappointed.
I could try. It's 2023. When I say shoot me up with a little bit of
I will
injection,
be very disappointed because that is not a capacity that he's able to show up for me in. But that is the way that I look at all of my relationships in life is how do you show up? Like what are you able to give? And what am I able to give you? And what does that look like realistically when I start setting expectations for myself, for my husband, for my friends, for my family? And are you able to respect the boundaries and expectations that I set for myself? Because what I set for myself, if you can't respect what I'm doing for me, then in truth, that means you don't respect what you're doing for you, or you not doing nothing for you. And neither one of those things are good for me. Um, so those would be my top three. Faith, have faith, practice, 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 and choose your circle wisely.
yeah. So I mean, it's really to piggyback off that, I really don't have much because she kind of hit most of the points. But like having faith, not only just faith in like what you're doing, but faith in yourself that you're gonna have the ability to do those things. Pray about it, man. Pray about it.
Write it
Morning,
down.
nights. Write it down. If it's even something as small as a dream car you want, print, take a picture of it, print it out, put it on your fridge, put it on your mirror, put it somewhere where you and have that constant reminder like this is that goal, this is that dream, this is where I want to go, this is what I want to achieve. So really just having that faith and believing that you can get to that. A lot of people be like, oh, I'll probably never be. Yeah, man, screw that. A negative mentality, man, just throw that away. That's gone. And two, practice, 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 man. I used to when I was drawing, I would draw like I'll sit down, I'll set me a timer, 30 minutes a day. Even if I just freehand sketch, if I draw an old cartoon I used to like, something, anything to keep me grounded, to keep me like, oh, okay, this is still something I want to do. This is your passion. You got to keep towards it. You can't just let it fall off. I have definitely been slacking lately when it comes to that, but I'm gonna take this time to like really like focus back up and try to get back to it. So practice, man. Practice on what your passion is. Practice on what it is
Whatever you're
you,
doing.
whatever it is, even if it could be something small, whatever it is. Practice. And three, yeah, your circle, man. Your circle is. It's gonna be a lot of friends you got that ain't really. No, I won't say not really your friends, but they don't really. They can't see you or they don't want to see you succeed. It's gonna
That
sound
would be
jacked
not
up.
really your friend.
I mean, they don't. It's not that they don't want to see you succeed, but
They can't see you outside of this box.
that yeah, they see the friend that they always seen, and it would it's a change for them to see you grow into a different space or move into a different thing. Not that they will probably see you as not their friend anymore or someone different that they don't know and have to relearn, and they would rather stick to what they know. So a lot of people don't want to see you grow. You gotta worry about your circle, man. Really focus up and having people that can help you benefit themselves. Does that make
Benefit
sense?
yourself.
No, like, so there's a lot of people who just don't really believe in themselves. So to see me
Mm.
believing in me, it's like you don't see yourself ever achieving your goal. So it's like, nah, man, you can't do that. Just stick with what you know, stick with what you got. It's
But
kind of
then
like,
there are people,
nah.
yeah, I get that. There are
So it's
people that
like,
they'll see you believing in yourself and it'll be like, man, if he could do it for him, I could do it for me.
yeah,
And those are the people you want around
those
you.
are the ones. But the ones that are like, oh,
Stick to what you
yeah,
know.
yeah, just stick to what you know, man.
Oh,
You don't got to
no,
try to
no,
step out the
no.
box because what if it don't work?
Stick to the stuff you
High School
know.
Musical, man. That's that real jump. That's that real sticky icky there. But like for real, like it's people that really don't they just don't believe in themselves, and it might not always be their fault. It just might be things that they went through, things that they've done, things that they've seen. So really just kind of sticking to what you not sticking to what you know. It's not sticking to what you know and kind of really stepping outside that box. And there is no true growth in or there's
Yep, go ahead.
yeah,
There's
there's
no
no
true
true
growth
growth in
without
comfortability.
uncomfort.
No, I'm gonna use it's gonna stick. It's gonna stick.
That wasn't comfortability wasn't the thing. You said uncomfort
Whoa, 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 what the heck?
because it's a nonsensical word, so it's really hard for me. Let's try this again.
There's no true growth,
Without
uncomfortability.
there we go.
There it is.
still a
It's
nonsensical word, but we're gonna
anyways,
ride with it.
it's gonna stick.
We're
Y'all
gonna
gonna
put
be
it on a
saying
shirt
it.
for y'all.
Yeah, y'all gonna be saying it eventually. Y'all gonna be like, that is not a word. Well, it's made up. Dr. Seuss can do it, I can do it too. So, but yeah, those really the three main things when it comes to like chasing your goals and really like truly pursuing your passions. Like you keep those three things in mind, and it's gonna be all right with me. It's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah.
So
I
I think
think
that really about wraps it up.
yeah, I think this was a great episode. I
Yeah, I
think
think that's pretty
a great
solid.
conversation to just really talk about. Y'all just remember that like you can wake up tomorrow and be a different person.
Yeah.
Every single day you choose the person that you're gonna be.
Mm.
So if you was a piece of shit yesterday, you could wake up tomorrow and be a better person. You could be, and in the same sense, you could be a great person today and wake up tomorrow and be a piece of shit. We ask that you not, but some people do.
That's true. That's
And
true.
so at any point you can pivot in life and it's okay. And it
Mm-hmm.
is encouraged, right? Because you should be growing, you should be changing, you should be evolving with your experiences, with the sustenance in your life, with what you are attracted to, what interests you. You should just always be learning, you should always be growing.
Yeah.
And
The
if you're
human
not,
mind is made to expand. That's
right,
literally what it's created for, is to grow, to obtain knowledge, to be the best version of itself. So
right.
as
And
long as you're keeping
so,
that main focus, that thing, you're gonna be good.
yeah, just remember that I think that's the biggest thing about this whole conversation is you can literally decide tomorrow. You can decide after you watch this video. You don't have to wait a whole nother day, right? You don't have to wait to the beginning of the month. You can decide that an hour ago I was an asshole. And at this point, I don't want to do that anymore. And that's okay. And so we encourage you guys to tackle your pivots, really make a plan, have faith, practice, and
Watch
align your
those
circle.
watching you. Watch those watching you. You gotta
Yeah,
just
align your circle. Um,
but yeah, that's a pretty good episode. And we're gonna
yeah.
get ready to wrap it up.
We'll catch
You
y'all
know.
next week. As always, we appreciate everyone that
Yeah.
has made it to the end of this video.
Made it to the end. Shout out to you. You a real one.
Like, comment,
And subscribe.
subscribe,
Don't forget that.
and share. Why?
Share it.
Because you know somebody
You know somebody
that needs to see
going through
this.
some shit and they need it.
They need to see this.
So,
So
you
we
know what I'm
thank y'all so
saying?
much. We
Yeah.
appreciate spending another Monday with the family.
Yep. Can't go wrong with that. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun.
It's been real fun. Good
And
night.
that'll be that.